videos, and Anna found this one really funny, and I'm guessing it's going to describe me pretty accurately, because I started watching this dude recently, and his videos are pretty hilarious. I'll say before I even get into it, I highly suggest, if you're into really parody comedy at all, but running or anything like that, if you're one of my former athletes or you ran yourself in any capacity, I think you'll find this dude's video is pretty good. If you do, check him out, Serious Runner, and then make sure to leave a like on this video too. I'll try to link this down in the comments here. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. I'll start from the beginning, and I'll be pausing on and off here. So this is a Serious Runner shares 5 tips for using Strava. If you don't know what Strava is, it's an app nowadays that's pretty popular with most runners to record your runs and log how far you ran and keep record of all your stats, basically, and basically social media for running. All right, let's get into it.
First impressions are everything, and that begins with how you look on Strava.
Okay.
First, I'll be sure to round up on my mileage. If my run doesn't end on an even number or an established race distance like 13.1, I'll be sure to run loops of the parking lot.
I'll say right now, I've definitely been seen doing loops around my car, especially like when I worked at the high school and stuff. Doing loops around my car, or I'll be talking to somebody at the track and I'll just be going rover around them.
To round up. Why would I stop at 7.92 miles when my Strava feed could show I ran 8 miles? As serious runners, we love round numbers or numbers that end in 5.
That's kind of the mathematician in me too. I got to get to the even number, and I agree with the half-mile thing too.
After all, it's not a 6.2 mile race, it's a 10K. Even so-called ultra marathon runners will hike and eat their way through a 50K and then a 100K, but switch to miles for their 100-miler. Second...
Okay, before I get into this, I didn't even read this on the screen. That's what I was about to bring up. You got to run an extra like 5 seconds after your watch, at least on my Garmin, hits the mile, because Strava takes off 0.01. That's hilarious. The Strava tax, I've not heard that. But I hate when I upload a run that's like 7 miles, and then I'll pull it up to look on my phone, and it'll be, what'd I say, 7? And it'll be 6.99 or something like that. The Strava tax.
Don't forget the Strava tax. For some reason,
That's
Strava
hilarious.
will sometimes subtract 0.01 miles from what your watch says, so it's best to stop at 8.01 miles. Third,
the Strava tax, I've noticed it doesn't really happen, I think, unless something's changed or maybe I have good connection or something. When I run with my phone and I have Strava recording that way, it doesn't seem to happen. It doesn't get along with the watches very well.
You may have heard that immediately after a session you should stretch or get down a recovery drink. Yes, those things are important, but first you have to update your Strava post. I know that my followers are eagerly waiting to see what kind of epic workouts I'm crushing. So it's imperative that I do.
He calls a lot of things epic, and I think it's hilarious, but I like the idea. It's a good brain juice boost when you get the kudos on Strava, like someone likes it, but I like the idea of someone eagerly awaiting what I'm running.
Do that before anything.
As a 30-year-old hobby
I'll be
jogger,
sure to add a humble brag title and some excuses in the description, and maybe a photo or two. When people are checking...
I was doing 1200s on the track the other day. I did 4 of them, and I just named it like 1200 number 1, 1200 number 2, and it took all of my might to not be like, kind of cold on this one, kind of took a misstep on this one. I'm excuse heavy, I'll admit it. Optimize for the Strava
checking you out on Strava, you can't assume that they're going to click into your activity and look at your splits. So what you want to do is make sure that your workout looks as impressive as possible in the feed. One way to do this is to separate the warm-up and the cool-down as separate activities. If you ran your tempo miles at sub...
I wish I had it pulled up on my other screen, but I wasn't anticipating. But I have my other day I had warm up as one activity, and then 1200 number one, recovery number one. So they know when I'm going fast and when I'm not. 1200 number two, and then so on, then cool down. So I had like, I don't know, like 10 different activities in one day. Gotta make it look good. And optimizing it for Strava. I hate when I'm doing like something with a lot of tree cover or something, because it knocks out the signal and it looks like I'm running much slower than I know I am.
But the warm-up and the cool-down are in the same activity, it's going to look like you ran 730 miles.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Similarly, when you're doing track work, do not record the recoveries. When you're crushing 200s at sub 5-minute pace or doing 400s in less than 80 seconds, you want that to show up in the feed. If you do a lot of reps, the Strava activity will show something like 5 miles at 5:10 pace, which
looks really
I
good.
Can't actually do, unless I omit all the recoveries. I'll just hope that people don't.
Oh, but I gotta include the recovery somewhere for the mileage totals. I'm that guy, so I'll do it separate.
Look at the elapsed time.
My elapsed time is always when I stop and use the bathroom or something.
Finally, if you're running with a friend and you're running at their pace and it would be embarrassing for your followers to see how slow you're running, be sure to note that. Title the activity a social run.
I've definitely seen people
that you're
do
just
this.
Catching up with that friend. And as a bonus flex, go run a double later in the day, just so that everybody knows that running with your friend really didn't take effort.
This one doesn't apply so much to me, since I have coached so much. I'm usually running with somebody, and usually I'm bouncing around between people. So sometimes it'll show up that I ran with somebody, and it'll be for like 5 seconds on the Strava thing or something like that. But he mentions doing a second run later in the day. Sometimes I'll hang out after a practice and run more, and oh my gosh, it's so much worse after like starting and then stopping.
It was kind of like walking the dog. I hope that these tips have been helpful, and I hope that Strava rewards me with one of those verified athlete badges.
Maybe someday for me.
Yeah, that would be a huge flex.
But yeah, so I've been watching this dude's videos a decent amount lately. So I think they're pretty funny. You can see my MCU stuff there. If you're into running, you run yourself, you used to compete, anything like that, I think you'll find this dude really funny. A serious runner, make sure you'll leave it a like. I'll link down there too. I definitely got a kick out of it. Thank you again to a serious runner for letting me react to his video. I had fun and I thought it was really, really good. And I say I definitely do a lot of this stuff. Let me know if you like this type of video. If you did, leave this a like as well, it says, and feel free to subscribe to both of our channels. All right, peace.